what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Martinez Jr. and I'm joined by my co-host Seek. And we got two special guests with us today. We got Brandon Adams over here working on his cell phone, making that work.
Trying to figure out where I'm gonna sit down at. You understand? Make sure you got me.
Grab a chair.
And we also got Coach Cam. How's it going, Coach Cam?
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. See, so close. Well, we appreciate both of you guys making the time. We want to been wanting to interview you guys for a while, so thank you. First question.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. First question we got is for both of you guys, and it's probably the question you get asked more often. And it's how did you get into boxing? So we can start with you, Brandon.
Me first.
Yeah, you first.
Awesome. I actually got into boxing. I always liked boxing growing up. It was always a neighborhood sport. Every summer we used to play. Well, we used to put boxing gloves out there. We used to play football and we used to box. And so I fell in love with it when I was a lot younger. And it's just been competitive. You know, for me, I was always real competitive. When I was trying out for the football team in my high school, the coach didn't give me the opportunity, told me that I was too small. I had too many extracurricular activities going on outside of the school, which I didn't. But that just messed up the opportunity for him to see me and give me a chance. So then I was like, for me, I'd rather go to a sport where it's all about me. I don't have to focus, or I don't have to get the approval of somebody else. Turns out you actually need that. You need a good trainer. You need a good team around you, you know. But at first I didn't know anything about it. So that's why I dived in so hard.
Excellent. And then Coach Cam, how did you get into boxing?
For me, it was a little different. I got into boxing to learn self-defense and to build my self-esteem and just kind of strengthen my body and my mind. So that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Excellent.
This next question is for you, Coach Cam. When did you know you wanted to become a trainer?
When I noticed that the hour that you get with people, or even the time limit that you have with people when you're training them, they tell you that you're helping them strengthen themselves too. So whatever the sport did for me, the way that it's helping other people is great. Like it's such a good feeling to have, and that's when I just realized, okay, I think I really, really want to do this.
All right. And then Brandon, this next question is for you. How did you get the nickname the Cannon, which is awesome, by the way?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know anything about Shannon Briggs. I just want to say that first, because, to my knowledge, he's like the first Cannon. But I actually got it because I used to create my name off the video game Fight Night Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just Fight Night, Knockout Kings. Every time I used to create me a character, the only name that sounded cool, it was Bam Bam and the Cannon. And when it was, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Fight Night round 3, where it was Big Tigger. He was one of the announcers. And every time when I used to get my character, he's like, Brandon the Cat, and it just flew. It just sounded like it connected. So that's how I was able to get my name, because, I was beating everybody in the game. And I just figured, since it just went, I might as well go with it.
Yeah, to your point, it flows. It flows well. Then we got a comment here from L Dub Boxing, says, "What's good? What's good, L Dub?"
Other than Coach Cam, how did you come to be known as the people's coach?
Because when I started training, I was training like ladies, and then I started training just regular clientele, and then I branched off into amateur fighters, and I branched off into kids, and now I'm trying my best to know what the professional aspect of boxing is about. So now it's just, for me, because I train everybody, that's how I got the name The People's Coach.
Got it.
Excellent. All right. And then this next question is for both of you guys. Can you tell us the name of the gym, where it's located, and how you describe the atmosphere in the gym among the fighters?
Well, you know what? It's funny when we first decided to open a gym together, Brandon kept telling me, "Hey, I really want to name the gym Hybrid Boxing, right? Because we do everything and anything here." And I just said to myself, "That's well, I didn't like the name at first. Like it didn't grow on me like at all." And then I said, "Hey, how about we name it Cannonnation? Like, what better way to because Brandon is a terrific fighter and he's a terrific coach. What better way to honor him than to put something up that has his name on it? So the name of the gym is Cannonation, obviously, Cannonation Boxing Gym. We're in Santa Fe Springs. The reason why we chose the location, well, Brandon chose the location, of course, is it's in the middle of the IE and LA. So I feel like if you're in downtown LA or you're in Santa Monica or whatever, we're dead smack in the middle. Or if you're in Victorville or Fontana or Rancho, we're right here and we're near all the major freeways. Um, and as far as the atmosphere, for me, it's very family oriented. I mean, we accept everybody here. Obviously, Brandon is a staple in his profession. So, when you come in here, you have him, then you see like the paintings on the wall, it's very kid friendly. You also see pictures of fighters, you see belts, people compete here. So it's an all around great environment.
Cool, cool, cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. One thing I noticed when I went to your gym, all the characters on the wall from Super Mario, such as Browser, Shy Guy, among others. What is the backstory behind that? Behind having Super Mario characters in your gym?
That actually came from me growing up. I'm heavy into anime. I played a lot of video games. That's actually it ties into saving my life. Uh, Bowser was one of the first villains, but Bowser and Shredder from the Ninja Turtles are like two of the biggest villains in my whole entire life. In which I was like, as a kid, I was afraid of them. Every time I cut on, Super Mario, they showed the castle. Everything about Bowser was scary. And as I got older, the whole pun on Mario, I could never play the game Mario because of when I was younger, how I just didn't have the patience. So I never knew the story. And then I started to play as I got older, and then it was just all funny. I used to laugh at myself, of course, for being afraid of playing a video game. And then it actually went to one of my fights when I fought and at the wild card on Ring City. I chose Bowser as my costume. I wore Bowser, went out there, and I just kind of, embraced being the villain. I started to recognize that my career wasn't based on me being the guy that, the promotions wanted to see win, and I just kept, prevailing. I kept winning. I kept beating all of these guys who I probably wasn't supposed to beat, or they just didn't have been, favored for that fight. And who better than than being one of the first villains in my personal life, and that's why I chose Bowser. That's why Bowser's on the wall. I started off with Super Mario. That was literally just one of the things I grew up with. So, I was able to bring a little bit of my actual history and put it on the wall, and people, it fits with today's time as well.
I agree, and also growing up around kind of Super Mario with the original Nintendo, if you didn't go with the Fire Mario to face Bowser, that was gonna be a tough fight. If you went with the Fire Mario, beat him easy, take your time. But other than that, it's gonna be a tough fight. Brandon, now next question for you. I know you grew up in violent surroundings. You grew up in the city of Watts. Did boxing play a role for you to kind of not fall into the gang life that's common out there?
No, actually, man. One of the biggest things that actually saved me, man, is me learning how to adapt to situations and scenarios. So for me, I didn't necessarily get involved in gangs, but I had great learners, great teachers on what not to do. A lot of my older siblings, a lot of my family members, a lot of my older friends, they all got, into these groups, these gangs, and I just saw everybody not making the right turns and making the right decisions, and I was able to pick up, that, you know, do unto others or have them do unto you. I just learned immediately, very young, what it felt like to get my butt whooped for making mistakes. So of course, I would try to minimize my mistake. Uh, and that's how I was able actually to stay out of the gangs. Because, like I said, man, I could have looked at it from the standpoint of like, well, since everybody else is doing it, it seems real cool. I can go that route. But for me, I saw too many people getting in trouble. I saw too many people losing their lives. I seen the darker side of that life way too fast, way too early. And again, man, I was a little bit of the loser or the loner. I wouldn't say the loser because I've always was loved by folks, but I just kind of always stood out for like an anime. So while everybody was trying to call themselves being involved in regular common street life, I was the one who be hanging with them, asking them if they caught up on Dragon Ball Z on Tsunami or something weird like that. That's just who I was, you know what I mean? So it just kind of brought everybody with the mindset like, man, this dude is just different. But it's just I rather focused on trying to, even as I was younger, I rather focused on trying to better myself than be caught in the crowd and doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anime wasn't as accepted back then like it is now. Now you can watch the latest Bleach on Hulu.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's a part of it.
Hmm.
Now you got people the likes of like a Coach Cam all of a sudden. Like, are you kidding me? I love anime. But you know what I'm saying? Growing up, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Just
Ain't
be
no way
quiet
growing
about
up.
it. Yeah. Right.
This next question is for Coach Kemp. You are a male dominant. You are in a male dominant sport. Have you ever received any backlash from being a? Can you hear me?
What happened?
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
No, there's some static or lag.
I know it's because my phone is like there's a million people calling me like back to back. Okay, there
Uh,
you go. I can hear you guys.
yeah, good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Coco, you're good. How's it going? All good. No worries. I was just asking you. You are in a male dominant sport. Have you ever received any backlash on being a woman trainer?
Yes, every day, all the time. It's happening now as we speak. Actually, and I know you guys won't believe me, but I get, I think I get backlash every hour of the day.
Hmm.
Somebody's saying something on any social media platform. Somebody's saying that I need to be at home cooking tortillas, even though I'm not Hispanic. I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, I always get, especially like these old head coaches. They
That's
always,
something, coach.
they always, huh?
I just want to say, I'm at least like 15 of those accounts. I always try to give her a hard time every day as I possibly can. I just
You know
post
what?
other
You know
people.
what? Hold on.
I
Let
just,
me let me just
yes,
let me just say this. Let me
cats
just
out
say
the
this.
bag.
Even though I get so much hate and so much slack for what I try to do, um, the hard part about it is people don't really understand that I really really try to understand this sport, and they don't know that just as hard as they are on me, I am way harder on myself. And then now I'm attached to this guy right here who has all these belts and all these accolades, and now I'm just like, dude, are you kidding me? Uh, but no, he's totally kidding. He actually is one of the reasons why I have as much confidence as I do today in boxing. He does give me a hard time though. Like one time, our boys wanted to spar, and they just got done working out, and he goes, Cam, why would you tell them to spar after they work out? Like, that's not the proper thing to do. It's things like that that I still have to learn, and I'm thankful that I have a good team behind me to help me. But yes, he is one of those people that don't talk bad about me. But do I receive a lot of backlash? Absolutely. From I don't know what I'm doing, to I must be sleeping with all the fighters that I work with, to you name it, I've heard it. I've heard it.
Yeah, I know it's tough. I mean, there's always those negative people, not everyone can think alike, and it's unfortunate. It's there's hate in the world just like it's for us, but just gotta show love to everyone, and good and bad comments is we gotta go on our way. Just
Yeah,
focus on what we do.
yeah.
All right, and this next question is for both of you guys. What was your favorite boxer growing up? And we can start with you, Coach Cam.
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny
You just
Pacquiao.
found out who that
That's
guy
it.
was.
That
Like,
oh
Hey, she hit you with that one
maybe
too.
5 years, 10 years back, she just found out who Manny Pacquiao was.
no, he's my dad. That's my dad.
I mean,
One of the greatest. One of the greatest. What about you,
Oh,
Brandon?
Yes.
yes, he is now.
8 divisions. Eight
Yeah.
divisions.
But he said growing up.
That is my favorite. Growing up.
Understood.
20 to 37. Growing up. All right, next.
all right. The next question is also for both of you guys.
wait, Brandon still needs to give us his favorite fighter.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, one of my favorite fighters growing up, just because I was short and I was, oh, look, Coach Cam going to try to help me this up. You see that? She just bounced, so she's going to say her phone died. We're going to win. But my favorite fighter when I was growing up, it was Mike Tyson. It was here we go. You know what I'm saying?
My phone died.
Totally died.
Called it.
There you
It
go.
died.
Sure.
I didn't.
Her phone died.
I'm so
This is
sorry.
my interview now.
I just wanted to let you guys know that my phone died. Oh, you're right.
Could you please close my closet door?
Wait, no, just come in here. 'cause it's
Here we
colder
go,
in here.
guys. It's cooler in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our office.
Hey,
Hey.
It's our office. Right.
yes,
Right.
sir.
Look, my favorite boxer when I was growing up was Mike Tyson. It was Iron Mike Tyson. It was easy for me to have Mike Tyson as my favorite fighter because he was so dominant. Born in 1989, and the early 90s, it was Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and them two, just those two guys alone. Roy Jones. These are guys I was looking up to. You said, why don't I put it down? You're probably right.
There you go. Look at you. Now you can stand.
This was my interview. Anyway. Yeah, so I like those guys. When I got a little older and I started to really watch boxing, Floyd Mayweather. So if you watch how I fight, there's two fighters that I do fight similar. I'm not that tall. No, I'm blessed.
Just sit down.
I like to stand up. I'm about to work out. Could you please bless me? Bless me. I like Mike Tyson. You will see a little bit of Mike Tyson and Floyd, because the name of the game is to hit and not get hit. I'm sorry. That's why I'm a scoot over so that way you guys can also see. There we go. You gotta make sure they can see the clock on the wall. But,
oh, you mean his belt? His
No.
belt on the wall.
Absolutely, I'd rather do it. I'd rather for you guys to see what time it was.
Oh, Zeke didn't want to see the belts apparently.
There you go. Everybody's phone dying. Come on, baby. You knew we was interviewing.
Yours is dying too?
No, mine is fine.
He's
Because
good.
I knew what time it was.
Here, all right,
That's
Zeke's
why
back.
the clock in the back is extremely important. There we go. He's back.
It's because it was kind of lagging very good.
I thought you were just overwhelmed by all the belts behind him. I was like, yeah.
Nah, I don't be minding. That stuff, it can mean a whole lot, but then at the same time, it can mean nothing. For me, it means something because, it was the beginning of something that could have been extremely great. And we're working on greatness. This is why I come to the gym. This is why I train. This is why, everybody who's a part of the gym and who wants to be a part of the gym wants to come here, man, because I don't just believe in being great. I want everybody around me to be great. If it's one message to, anybody I know and anybody that's out there, I always tell everybody, man, it's about making, helping us help making a better version of yourself. Unfortunately, in the beginning of my life, I hated it, but I was introduced to a lot of things, and it made me grow up a lot faster than I wanted to. I see other kids enjoying their life, and if you do not stop popping your head as I'm doing this interview, in case you guys didn't recognize, on the other side of this camera right here, we got Coach Cam, who's popping her head going, oh, 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 yeah. So if you can come squeeze on this side, please, so that way so we can all the way focus in. Maybe not. It's completely fine. We're just gonna pretend to act like there's nobody on the other side who's just staring at me like you guys are. But it's awesome. It's all love. But as I was just saying, like I wanted to ever since when I created an Instagram. Actually, this is when it kind of happened. I had an Instagram going, and could you watch it? As I had this Instagram going, I started to recognize that, there's a few people, like most of my family and close friends, who used to follow me in the very beginning. And when I was boxing, I always used to be like, I wanted to do a lot of things that was kind of selfish, but I always kind of was hearing a voice always telling me that no matter what I do, it's like my volume of work will be saw by multiple people. So now I gotta watch what I do. And I'm always under a watchful eye. And just because I'm not on a camera, just because I'm not, in front of people at particular moments, don't mean I'm not always watched. This right here became spiritual for me. And in order for me to accept that, and when I did accept it, this is why I started calling myself Cannonnation way back when, because I always said it was bigger than me. It's not just about me. I'm not just selfishly here trying to become great just so I can say, oh, I did it. It's more so of a version of saying we did it. So bringing the gym here, instead of calling it hybrid boxing, it's now Cannonnation. I wanted a hybrid boxing just because of we have two different backgrounds, and I wanted to bring some light towards her and her story and everything. And not saying that it can't be done, calling it Cannonnation, because like I said, man, my biggest thing is just trying to help everybody become a better version of themselves, and that's me included. So I just think it's extremely important that here we just try to help people reach and obtain something within themselves that they never knew existed.
Perfect. Yep. And Brandon and Coach Cam, I think you guys got us a new follower. It says Valentor says liked and subscribed. He's watching from Los Alamos National Laboratory, LANL Isotope Production Facility. So we got two theoretical physicists enjoying your channel. So
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
The next question is for both of you guys. First, ladies first, Coach Camp, pound for pound boxer today, as of now.
My favorite?
No, he said pound for pound. Right now, who's killing it? Like who's ranking?
Bud. Bud is.
Bud? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Brandon?
Yeah, respectfully, I'm gonna have to agree. Inoue did his thing, Bud did his thing. They both got in the ring and executed their game plans, man, and just stagnated the world. Made everybody, just put all the other fighters on notice, and they did everything tremendous. Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters today, and so was Bud. Seeing the fight the way that it went, man. It was tough, and it was gonna be tough watching either of those guys take a beating if that was supposed to be in store for them. But I'm happy with the result because I like both those guys. Just personality, and I see there's a lot of things in common, with both of those guys. So I'm just happy, that it was a real good fight and it lasted as long as it did. And then anyway, he did his thing, man. Like, he did his thing. I'm sure a lot of people wasn't expecting that. He went up in there, just looking to put his performance out as one of the best performances in boxing history by beating a guy, moving up, beating a guy who's supposed to be, real slick and move. And I think Fulton, once he got in there and he started fighting him, we just didn't expect a whole lot of things. I'm sure if rematch was ever to come around, then he would know how to address it differently. But this fight, the first fight, I think he was caught completely off guard and surprised, and he was trying to play the game of catch up while being, responsible, and him being too responsible didn't allow him to let his hands go or develop the confidence he needed to show anyway, that he exists as well. So, that was tough. It was crushing to watch.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then this next question is for you, Brandon. We had Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. On the show a few days ago. He was in the Contender. Both of you guys made it, into the finals. Can you tell us about, your experience on the Contender, and then ultimately, that fight between you guys?
My experience on the Contender was, it was crazy. It was like, unfortunately, I was, but it was youth correctional facility. I was there. I didn't do anything bad, but I just wouldn't tell on the people who actually was causing trouble within the neighborhood. I fit the description. I looked like the guy. I spent a week inside the correctional facility, and then when I was in there, I was able to learn firsthand what it's like being incarcerated as a youth. So when I went on the show, it was very similar to that. No TV, no newspapers. They just wanted us to communicate with each other, basically, for the purposes of keeping all the theatrical drama for TV. They want to make it seem like a hip hop, love and hip hop kind of soap opera. And because I was on there, nobody actually went for it. The experience there, it was fun fighting. I fought 3 times within 7 days. I had the hardest route and the quickest turnarounds to fight, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was fun. I got to meet some incredible guys, man. Them dudes was all super cool. And I'm close with all of them. Maybe I'm the closest with all of them because I wound up winning. But I'm pretty much tight with everybody. If I called any of them, they would pick up my phone after maybe just 2, maybe at most 3 rings, because we're all on good terms. And as far as fighting Shane, me and Shane used to spar back at Manalo Boxing Gym and in SoCal. So we were very familiar with each other. I sparred with his dad as well. They knew it was going to be a real tough fight going into this fight, but the world probably didn't know. And I think a lot of Shane. Me personally, I think Shane would be that much greater once he gained the confidence of being able to prove that. But as a fighter, we struggle with the biggest adversary is self, and I think that's his biggest issue, man. It's just he's trying to become better, and he's trying to figure out how to fill his cup, if that makes sense. And once he be able to feel comfortable doing so in front of everybody the night of the fight, he's gonna be a different version, not like his father, well, but something similar to it, or just being exciting and making it work for not just himself, but for fans, people who love boxing.
Absolutely.
So, this next question is for Coach Cam. I know she's in the back. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You are big on women empowerment. How does it feel to know you are playing an important role for women and young girls to stand confident in who they are and not give up on their dreams?
It's very humbling. It's very, very humbling, but being in that light every day is a task for me, because I make mistakes myself, right? And I try to do better every day. But to know that what I do, especially on social media, is being watched by little girls and by women, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. So I know that everything that I put out or everything that I talk about, it has to be. What are you doing?
Just making sure I look good too. You know what I'm saying?
It has to be, carefully executed. It has to be carefully executed. So. Yeah, but it's a great feeling. It is truly, truly a great feeling.
Yes, ma'am. My daughter, she started watching your videos too, and she's at some she said I want to get into boxing. I respect boxing, and I tell my wife, if you want her, I could take her in, she could teach her. But boxing is a dangerous sport, and but just not. I told my wife just not because I love boxing. I don't want if she doesn't like it. It's if she wants to train basics, it's fine. If she's interested in boxing or soccer, the sport is fine. I'm willing to support my daughter with thick and thin. But
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. Just we were like kind of in talks but she's about to go back into school. But yes, ma'am. It's just yeah. She's admiring. She looks at your videos on IG. I'm like, oh yeah, but pretty much, yeah.
Great. All right. This next question is for both of you. For you, Brandon, it's who's the hardest puncher you've ever been in the ring with, and for you, Coach Cam, who's the hardest puncher you've ever trained? And we can start with you, Coach Cam. Or I guess we'll start with you, Brandon. She's one of you. So hardest puncher.
No, he's.
Oh no!
he's
Oh,
the
he is.
hardest-
Oh, he is.
Oh,
Okay.
him.
Yes. Yes.
I've never hit her hard though. I never hit her hard.
And that's the scary part.
I
That's
never
how
would have-
I know.
I watch guys. I
Like-
watch people go and drill her, and I used to a long time ago get on her like, yo, don't be letting nobody hit on you like that. Like, even when you wear a shield, like, there's a way of getting around that. That's what I always thought. I try my best to just remind her. This is, it's supposed to be a sanctuary, so you take care of this. And, she'd be looking at me like I'm crazy. Every time I turn my back, she got one on with a guy who's probably 200-something pounds with a mustache just sticking out of the flat. Casey's one of the guys, one of our favorite dudes to let driller. I think he's crazy for that. But me, the biggest puncher that I fought was a guy named Raymond Gatica from Texas. Ray Gatica. Jamal Charlo was strong, but he was only strong for like 3 rounds. After that, I said Jamal, like respectfully, I'm not discrediting that he's strong. He's still a strong fighter, but the power and how hard he was punching, it just drastically dropped after the 3rd round. But that's probably because I was being pretty slick. I wouldn't allow them punches to hit me. But it was one time, he hit me. He made me. For a moment, I couldn't see. He punched me in like my eye. I couldn't see. It's like my eyes, like it swallowed my eye, and then it popped right back. And he swung at me again. He missed. That fight with Jamal, like I said, after the 3rd round, he was strong, but my knuckle was shifted. It was kind of slightly dislocated, and it messed up. So I couldn't hit him as hard as I wanted to hit him. So I was fighting basically with just my right hand, flailing out a jab, and couldn't really throw a good hook. So I would love to try that again with 2 perfectly good hands and see how the outcome goes. But as far as punching power, Raymond Gatica, I remember he was southpaw, but he threw a punch at me and he hit me in the shoulders. And as he threw the punch, I just felt like a big man said, boom, and knocked me back. And I said to myself, oh, damn, I can't keep letting this dude hit me. If he hit me like that, just in my shoulders, and I felt that kind of, that kind of force, then it was only a matter of time that if he was able to hit me solid anywhere else, that I was going to feel that kind of force. His punch felt heavy. I don't know what he was doing. He wasn't even a regular southpaw at that. He was regularly orthodox, but he switched southpaw because he said something about he got injured when he was younger, and it forced him to learn how to fight southpaw. So he wanted to give us all a different look, so it could be in favor for him. That brother hit me with a straight left hand and a right hook. I just felt like, yo, he's been practicing on being strong his whole life.
Gotcha. In your last fight, it's for you, Brandon. In your last fight, you upset Sergey Bohachuk by 8th round stoppage. What do you say that has been your best victory performance to date?
Well, I would say that was as far as adversity. Fighting in Puerto Rico around COVID time, they were spraying hand sanitizer in the ring. It's humid out there. It's like the same kind of weather as Florida or Texas. It's extremely humid. And as we're fighting, the ring is extremely slippery. I'm the kind of fighter who moves laterally. He's the kind of fighter who comes forward, back and forth. mostly forward. So it was easier for him. It was almost like, if you are a good uh, uh, fighter or good on the mitts, pop, 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 just going forward and going back, that would be great for you. And after the ring got extremely slippery to me, he started to have more success because then I was just slipping too much. And I didn't want to lose balance and then fall. And then they say, oh, knockdown, 1, 2. I just felt the way the fight was going, I'm getting, call for low blows that weren't low. I can tell, I can see, I saw the picture. It was painted on the wall, very vivid. And I just knew it was going to take me breaking him down, systematically breaking him down. It was going to have to be in the later rounds because he seemed tough and strong. That I was going to be able to stop him. That's why as soon as I hit him and I seen the leg go out under him, I knew at that moment that it was, he was overdue for one. And, what better way to go out from the cannon?
Absolutely. Next question for you, Brandon, as kind of a two-parter. We haven't seen you back in the ring, since that upset victory on Bochek. When will we see you back in the ring? Is there any specific opponents that you're targeting for your next fight?
Well, it's supposed to be in September. There's nothing guaranteed just yet. I wish I could put a stamp of guaranteed on it, but right now I can't. That's what we're looking at. And my last performance showed proof. I mean, like, if you look at my last 4 or 5 performances, one of my favorite performances, by the way, what you asked, actually was when I fought Eugene Kitra from the Contender. Now, it's a lot behind him because he had over 400 and something amateur fights, 474, something like that. He was an Olympic silver medalist and I think twice Olympic silver medalist. His pedigree in boxing just was what it was, and I outboxed him. I outboxed him the way he's used to boxing. I beat him to the punch. I made him basically submit into grabbing me and clinching and just trying to survive. And so for me, because I didn't fight in over 3 years, I came back and I fought him, and I beat him, and I beat him the way how I wanted to beat him. I think for me, that's extremely important. And for me, that was for me to let myself know that I existed and that, I'm here and I'm here because I know I can win. So that fight meant a lot to me. Me beating Sergey Borchuk was just to let the world know that, that I'm always game and ready for a fight, and I will prevail. Me fighting Jamal Charlo in Texas in his hometown for a vacant belt that wind up, commentators and everybody dogged up, made it seem as if it was already his belt. That's one of the best fighters in today's time as a middleweight. And no matter what it was, like I just went to the fight knowing that, I am who I am and I train hard. I'm one of the best fighters in today's time. So why not take advantage of that and fight against the best fighters today as well? Okay. So I'm saying I want to fight all the top guys. I believe that I belong in the ring with them, and not just belong in the ring with them, I can best them.
Well said.
Yeah. This next question is mostly for both of you guys. Potential of upcoming fights. Either or can answer. In other words, Canelo Alvarez, Jamal Charlo. Picking out of them two.
I'm gonna go with Canelo. I'm going the Canelo route. Jamal's a good fighter. He, can't take away none of his accomplishments. He's an amazing fighter, but Canelo has a lot of experience being there, fighting at that weight. I'm not saying that Jamel can't win. Anybody can win a fight, and I don't want to just say that lightly and say that anybody can win a fight, but just take into consideration of what kind of fights, Castaño, that fight that Jamel had was a lot tough. It was tough on him, and the reason why it was tough on him was Castaño stayed in his face. And you talk about Canelo, a guy who punches harder, way harder, and that movement, that head movement, man, that's going to be extremely tough. I don't think you can prepare for a fight like that too much unless you have the right guy in front of you to help you. What happens? See, look, and I think he's gonna have to become a different fighter than what he is, Jamel, and that's asking a whole lot of a person to go in there and fight against a guy and become something that you've never been. And if you do it, that's just a testimony to how good of a fighter he can be and grow to propel.
We'll Coach Champ's opinion.
Yeah, she's still right. She just,
I don't like
coaching.
either one of them.
All right, so she says pass on that one.
To win, I think Canelo wins. Canelo's
Okay.
gonna win.
Okay. All right.
You know who I think is gonna win? Like if he were to fight both those people, Brandon.
Brandon Adams. There you go.
100%.
People walk off while you're doing an interview. Could you?
Because I'm famous for that.
He's multitasking.
This is amazing, guys.
It's a both interview. All right.
It's not delivered food. I'm so sorry.
So, I'm sorry I couldn't hear, but
Brandon will beat both those. Brandon will beat anybody, and you guys gotta take my word for that. The only reason why boxing hasn't changed is because Brandon is not in the scene just yet.
We gotta get Brandon back in the ring.
Well,
agreed.
I work real hard. I work damn hard. I get in the ring.
No, that's not the reason why.
Hey, yo, shut up. Yeah,
You're fine.
Good. I do. I work real hard. When Bivol was preparing to fight Canelo, I'm the guy who helped him. I kind of gave him, because I studied boxing differently. So, Bivol had what it took, just if you look at his anatomy, I knew he was going to win. So I just basically helped guide him, him and his team who already was on their way. I'm not going to, I don't want to take too much credit from what they were doing, but I gave them a hell of a look. And I made it way more tougher than the fight was going to be for him and his team. And they acknowledged that. They recognized that. You could ask Joe Diaz and his brother. You can ask them. They know. After they see me work, they just was like, yo, bruh. And, of course, me being a fighter, I believe I have what it takes to beat those guys. But just off of my mind alone, my mind is pretty strong. As I said, man, with a dislocated hand, I fought Jamal to a decision, and the fight was a hell of a whole lot closer than Showtime will ever give me. Just watch the fight while it's on mute, and you will see that I did a whole lot of things. I was dictating a whole lot. I made him miss a whole lot. I out-jabbed him. I did a lot of things that were real good. And, even if I don't get the credit for it, I don't mind. I'm not here to earn the popularity vote. I'm here to better myself. I'm here to become the best that I can be. So once that opportunity comes, I'm willing to showcase it. I just don't like speaking about it because, I'm not there just yet. But once I get around there and I know I'm there in media and all these folks see for themselves, then I'll feel more confident in being able to speak, because then you'll be able to see a lot more of what I speak happens. I will bring forth to an existence of what I speak. But until then, I'll humbly accept flowers and just keep training. And doubters, whatever. I'll keep training, I'll keep working and keep help building up all the guys around me so we can prevail, because this is still Cannonnation.
That's right. And we personally would love to see you versus both those guys. So hopefully down the road, one of those opportunities comes knocking and you get the call and you can give us a great fight. Next fight we want to kind of get your thoughts on. Hasn't been finalized yet, but it's been rumored to be the one that's happening next. It's
Jamal.
It's Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis.
Yo, I think that fight is gonna be tough for Haney, because Prograis is he's a different kind of fighter. He doesn't fight like most guys who fight today. He's awkward. And it works in his favor because he's strong. And Devin is like, people say he's just a boxer, and that's completely fine. But to me, he's the kind of guy who's going to do what it takes to win. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. So I think that's super important for today's fans to see. Like, a lot of people don't give him credit for how hard he's willing to work to get the win. Jab, like a lot of stuff that he does, he doesn't get credit for it. And I think this fight right here, whomever, if he can pull this fight off, then I think a lot of other people will, people might not like how he win, but I think, this will bump him up for a bigger fight, probably in the near future with the likes of a Javante or Shakur.
Yeah, or a Teofimo Lopez. I mean, a big fight at 140.
Yeah, or Teofimo, I'm sorry, I think that, that is true. I just wasn't sure if he was actually out of retirement or, what was going on, respectfully.
I think he said he came back, but yeah, I think a lot of it depends too where Haney decides to campaign at, because he still says he might come back to 135. So we'll see.
The last choice we have here is Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko.
You know what? I'm not too sure. I think if Lomachenko doesn't start slow, I think Lomachenko could beat most of everybody today. But I think him losing to Devin and him going back to go watch it, I think he might pick it up. Because these last two times he fought young guys, he allowed the younger guys to dictate early on. And I know why he's doing it. He's doing it so he can watch and look and learn the body language, so then he can know how to attack and break the guys down. But I think that he's going to have to kind of figure that out within the first 2 rounds versus him waiting 4 and 5 rounds just because they're younger. They got energy. Well, as the older man, you got to be smart and know how to break them down too. So at least later on, those later on rounds, you can do what you're trying to do and make it look, make it look more one-sided, because he's giving the youth an opportunity to take rounds. I can't say steal. He's giving them opportunities to take rounds early on because he's not really being aggressive enough. He's not being assertive enough.
What about you, Coach Cam? How do you see that fight playing out?
For which one?
Actually, let's get Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, since we missed you last time. We'll start with that one.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say that I thought that it was pretty interesting how Devin Haney decided to, move up in a weight? Yeah, to fight Regis, so he doesn't have to fight Shakur Stevenson. I thought that was super, super crazy, right? But I think that Devin Haney is going to give Regis a hard time. I don't really watch Regis Prograis fight. I know his last fight, he kind of struggled a little bit when he fought out here. So I think Devin should take that one. He should take that one. And then you said who else? Shakur.
And then Shakur and Lomachenko.
I like Lomachenko.
A lot of people do.
I love how he moves. And that man is he's such a veteran, right? I feel like he'll figure you out within the next 3-4 rounds, but Shakur is sharp. And he's going to be great. What is he, like 21, 22?
I think it's like 22, yeah.
He's still a child. Like, so imagine as his career progresses, how much better he's gonna be. I don't know. I hope that ends in like a split decision because I'm fans of both of them, but of course I'm gonna root for the veteran. I'm gonna root for Lomachenko for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, Prograis is a good fighter. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I just know the way boxing is narrating it. They're narrating it for what happened. They're narrating it for Devin, Shakur, and Javante,
yes,
and Teofimo, but they're not really necessarily bringing up Prograis. And he's in there. He's there already. You know what I mean? And I think that last performance he had. For me, I think that was just due to, preparations, but I think and I do believe that he has an opportunity of beating any guy there as well. So, respectfully, I just want to see all of them do the stuff. I want to see them all fight.
Agreed. And Coach Cam, we both got Shakur Stevenson's age wrong. He's actually 26 years old.
Why does he look like such a child?
I knew he was older.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, okay, then that's his prime in boxing. He's actually in his prime right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, no, I thought you guys were talking about his record. He's 20-0.
No, it's just he looks still so young to me.
Yeah.
He looks so
he
young.
was younger than 26. That is crazy.
Yeah, I think Davis is the oldest from Shakur Haney, if I'm not mistaken. I think Davis.
Yeah, he's 30, I think.
Yeah, because Devin Haney's 24.
Yes.
Davis
he's
is
younger than Shakur.
Yep.
Yeah, Davis is 28, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
Yeah, 28. Yep.
Yes, sir. The next question we have for both of you guys would be, what do you like to do outside of boxing? Any interest or hobbies or any other? You guys switch it up maybe in other sports, Coach Cam?
Boxing has kind of been my life for the last 9 years. I have been so invested in working that I miss time with my family. I miss time with my son. I don't really show up to family events because I'm always here. When I say here, I'm always in the gym. But when I do take time off, whatever time off that I take, I like camping. I like doing outdoor stuff, and I like movies.
You sound like a dating If you're looking me up, just know that I like camping. And if you paid for dinner, then that's probably
no,
okay.
totally like.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that dating is so far from my mind. Being in this sport is so hard to find a guy who will accept me for being here. It's very hard. Okay, because this is it. You're like insecure about all of it, like being around men like 24/7. So no, I just said that I like to go camping with my family, and I like to go to theme parks. I love theme parks also. So yeah.
See, that's another thing.
And I like long walks on the beach and chocolate cake.
That's right.
All right.
So you have to answer the question too.
Yeah, what about you, Brandon?
No boxing, no life.
No life.
This is all I do. You know what I'm saying? This is all I do. If I'm not doing this, I'm at home watching anime, watching movies with subtitles because they're from a foreign country. You know what I'm saying? Or honestly, I was known for being called conspiracy canon. I listen to a lot of wise men speak. I don't agree with nothing almost in today's time at all because, I just do not believe in it. I think everything is planted here to be against us. So I just try to bring it together. I try to find a way, one act of random kindness. That would be my art. Act of random kindness. You get that? Did you get that? Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, that's what I do. I read books. I listen to audios. I listen to wise men speak about professions. Scientists who studying the body and what's just what's going on in today's society. And I'm real big on energy, frequencies, and everything, man. So for me, I just like to try my absolute best to come in with a loving vibe and just vibe, just chill. Because everything I do is pretty hectic. I train tons of people within a day. I'm trying to work out myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with everything that I have, man. I'm happy with everything I have, and I like to chill. I don't like the hectic life. I grew up around that hectic life. I'm a city boy who yearns for country life. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been around too much chaos and loudness. I just want to find peace and hopefully bring it towards everybody who's around me.
Great. And Brandon, I'm gonna send you a message later because I'm looking for a new anime to watch. Now that we got Demon Slayer kind of done and Hell's Paradise done, I'm looking for something new to watch.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Listen.
personally myself. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Because I was
Yeah,
just about to say, right
I,
now.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
All right, I got you. I personally, I don't watch anime myself, but I just like glance through like Instagram posts and other internet posts and stuff. But honestly, I'm kind of getting into it, bro. Like it seems interesting. It's never been my type. I just been into I started off with soccer, and from soccer I went into boxing, and from there I just kind of built up. My oldest brother likes is Dragon Ball Z, of course, and he likes also Mortal Kombat. So those have been his favorite sports, and other than
Sure.
other than Pokemon, or I used to play
Gotta
Yu-Gi-Oh.
catch the ball, huh? You look like the type, you know what I'm saying? Charizard. But no, but honestly, man, I think one of the animes that you guys will be able to enjoy is Yami no Ippo. It's called Fighting Spirit in Japanese.
Oh yeah, I watched
but
that
it's
one.
the boxing one. Yo,
Mhm.
I think just that will be the introduction for you. So you could just watch that. It's about boxing. So
Yeah, the heavyweight never lost that anime, right?
yeah. So just you watching that show, and it's old. It's old, so you can get into it. I've been, I flipped through watching tons of them. I think you say you watch Demon Slayer. I think My Hero Academia is a real good one for you to check out.
Yeah, it's going.
It's about the main character who started off as nothing. Eventually, he winds up. Yeah, of course. I was gonna say One Piece, but she wants to let everybody know that she listened to me speak on multiple interviews about anime, but she wants to say One Piece.
One Punch Man is the
Yeah, One Punch Man.
Going.
For her, it was Sailor Moon. She only did Sailor Moon.
is the
She knew
freaking
nothing,
best.
no other anime. She heard me talk about them now. She's a fan of all of them. Hold on, get this.
Yeah, so he broadened my anime horizon. Whatever. Next question.
All right, next question for you guys. What would be the best piece of advice you would tell someone that wants to pursue a career in boxing?
I think that question is more so catered to Brandon, but just from my experience as a coach, right? In the short years that I've lived as a coach.
It's not that bad.
Are you kidding me right now?
I just got here. I don't know.
For me, it's so easy, especially nowadays because of Jake Paul and all these influencer fighters. It's so easy for anybody to go, hey, I want to start boxing. Hey, I want to start competing. Or hey,
you got that movie Creed that makes everybody believe they can do it.
Yeah,
you got have some guys like Michael B. Jordan who's killing the game. Look, you see how she almost melted. So just in case if Michael B. is one I ever watched, she likes walking on the beach. She likes, give me a second, hold on, I remember everything you said. She said she liked going to the movies. She likes camping. She likes these kind of things.
I like outdoors.
Michael B.
Oh my God. You're not even done. Okay, so going back to the serious portion of this interview. Because a lot of people see stuff like that, they don't understand that you literally have to be here every single day. For example, Brandon is a great example. He is here every day. I think he trains like 3 times a day.
You guys are actually in the way of my workout, but I love you guys. So
Thank you. Thank you.
That
Appreciate
just means I'm gonna have to get out there and work even harder.
I was answering the question. So I think that it's easier said than done. And if anybody wants to take up this sport as really as something serious, they have to know that their body and their mind is going to go through rigorous changes. Like, okay, somebody asked me, they said, hey, Cam, when you watch the Bud and Errol Spence fight, what do you think Errol Spence could have done that would have made it a bigger advantage for him to win? I said, I don't think he could have done anything different with training. I think Errol Spence went into this fight with a different type of mindset. Like, what people don't understand is, and I see it happen to my boys, and they don't know that half the battle in that ring is how you feel about yourself. You could train months and months and months and months, but if on fight day you have defeated yourself, you talk to yourself, and you don't have that right mind, you've lost already. You've lost. I knew by Errol's ring walk that he did not have the mental capacity to be in that ring with Crawford. I knew. Like, I saw him and I was like, dude, something is wrong. So I think half the battle, besides being here and putting your body through crazy training, you also have to be mentally capacitated for it. Everything around you has to support that you want to fight and that you want to box. And everything around you has to understand that you're going to be in the gym 24/7 fighting for this dream. So, yeah.
Brandon?
The question?
I didn't even hear the
Oh,
question.
my God.
I stepped out to see who was all training.
Jose?
That's
Yeah,
the question was, what would be the best piece of advice you would give someone that wants to make a career out of boxing?
For me, honestly, man, people, and I get that all the time. Me training folks and people seeing me have some kind of success in the sport. But it's one of the things that I always tell people. I want to make sure that my answer is different from hers because you sit around people and we talk a lot to the same people, or we hear each other talk. Sometimes we accidentally repeat and say the same thing, so I want to make sure I don't say the same thing. I think, it's about what you want for yourself. It's about what you expecting of yourself. How high are your expectations? And then, what are you willing to do? For me, I just was hearing her talk about the fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, man. I disagree with how he came out and I was a different person, because you can't see that. You can't see that. You're not that fighter. So you don't know what the mindset is. You don't know what the temperament is, man. What you do see is a lot of times, man, is when the bell goes off and when the bell sounds, and then this person in front of you is totally different from what you have imagined for them to be. Now, the question is about your imagination. How great is your imagination? And I think that is truly, one of the biggest things. Because, like I said, man, when I saw Fulton fight anyway, I was going back to that fight, what he imagined wasn't it. So after he found that out, his imagination was stunted, and he wasn't able to think outside of the box or become a lot more than what it was, and to think of anyway as being a lot more. So now he steps up with his imagination upon how to break down what could be much more. But that's just me, I don't like to put too much thought into anything outside of what I'm involved in. But sometimes I can get pretty cerebral with how I feel about things, and I just gave you guys a hell of a gym just saying just that in itself. That's extremely huge, extremely big, and no matter what anybody says, like, no matter what anybody talks about, what I said was the absolute and honesty of doing battle, going to war, because it's all to do with self. It's all to do with self, and what self is willing to overcome.
Right. Perfect. And is Coach Ham still around?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I wanted to kind of also add to that, but Spence fight, because you're the first one that I've heard comment that like Spence lost the fight in the ring walk because he kind of wasn't like confident in himself, and I find that super interesting because like Bud Crawford's ring walk was with Eminem, so I wonder if Errol Spence should have brought out Nas or Jay-Z.
No, it's not even that. Like, so there's I don't know if it's a myth, but people say it all the time. So they say, like, before you fight, the person who changes the most about themselves before the fight is the person who's overthinking the fight that they're about to get into. Errol Spence was getting like tattoos. He was eating barbecue. He was doing like.
But he's from Texas.
Well, no, I know, but what I'm saying is like I first of all, let me be clear. I love Errol Spence. I'm a huge fan of Errol Spence. Huge, like I am a huge fan of Errol Spence. I just don't think that he did his best during this fight with Crawford.
That's fair. All right, Sik, do you want to ask the last question and then also do the outro?
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say.
I think he disagrees with something that I said.
Of course, I disagree with what you said, but I just want you to just think of it this way. Right now, Cam, if you and just because you dealt with more traffic getting here, just because you dealt with more traffic to get here, but you already have the mindset that you're going to be training and have a good day. Will that traffic get in the way if you're having a great day?
No.
If you literally put that aside already?
No, I think that
it's the question his mindset.
No. I'm not saying like it's normal, right? But I think so to get for me to get here, the traffic, it's longer. So that means my body goes through more direct than the person coming from
15, 20 minutes away.
15, 20 minutes away. So, but either way, we're both here to do the same job. Is that somebody is going to be more tired than the other person, or more mentally incapacitated.
Probably, but if you woke up on the right side of the bed, you had nothing getting your way. The reason why I'm saying this, Cam, is the only reason why I'm saying this is because we could never go by what they say, because when we go by what they say, we are not thinking individually. Which is only where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So when you say what you said, you don't feel what's happening. You said, well, they said, I want you to go. Just here. And this is not just for Coach. I'm not just talking to Coach when I say this, but this goes for all of us who are fighting or who aren't fighting or who's trained, whatever the case is. I can't go and say to you, to me, you didn't seem like this because they said, because they don't know. Errol Spence, if you watch all his tattoos from when he didn't have tattoos, to each fight he was putting on new armor, new tattoos. But they Texas boys. They barbecue. When I was down there with Jamal and I was helping him prepare, they was barbecuing. That's like that's the thing that they do. I think what it was really, man, is literally do when they went into that fight. Jamal, Spence and Crawford knew each other beforehand. They knew of the work of each other damn near almost firsthand. This is what a fight, I'm not saying the fight didn't happen from his side or his side, but just think about why this fight was never taking place, because they knew what the stake was. So now going into this fight, seeing Crawford fight totally different, coming in at southpaw, the whole fight was completely different than what he was expecting. Imagination.
Yeah.
Which is why I said, man, we can't go, because in my opinion, he just gave Errol such a different look that Errol wasn't expecting. Errol was still strong. Look at the way he was throwing them hard ass punches at him. It's just they wasn't able to land because it's never from that same angle. And that he was accustomed to that angle. He was accustomed to that kind of movement. So I'm not discrediting what Coach was saying, because that's probably what she saw, and what she did was just kind of bring on what she was also hearing, and then she went with feeling of what she felt. I'm not saying what she's doing is wrong at all. I wouldn't say that, because this is her individual answer. I'm just saying, just kind of, while you have that answer, now let's kind of broaden that and look from all squares on the screen, and now when you put it that way, you go, oh, well, all right. That could be right, or I could be right, but now there's just two different looks. That's all.
Sure.
Yep.
Right? I appreciate the fact that she took a hell of a chance to even say that on an interview, where she, soundbite could be everything, but she just gave an honest assessment of what she felt and thought, and she could be ridiculed by that. But part-time Cannon over here just was like, what would you say?
So like that, who's harder than your business partner to go and do it? Right? So if anybody else say something, you can give that 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying, feel to her like, what? I am white. I am a bum. You know what I'm saying? She can say, what?
Yeah.
Anthony already said everything. So what you got?
I love how you looped it back into Eminem.
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? I heard that's what comedians do. They know how to bring stories.
Bring it back in.
Yeah.
Last question to end of this dope interview would be a message to your fans and supporters.
To your fans. Hey, you know, like I said, myself and Coach, we just all about, you know, building a better version of ourselves. Even if you ain't actually here physically, or at least, you know, I can say this from my part, you know, we're just trying to help everybody become a better version of themselves while building ourselves. And, you know, I believe in that. You know, it takes time. Nobody's perfect. But, you know what I'm saying, if you practice to reach perfection, then, you know, you will be closer to reaching it.
Coach Cam?
Yeah, same. I agree. I think that really trying your best to just piggybacking off of what Brandon was saying, to make yourself a better person every day. So, you know, small victories mean a lot, and you know, it's just your own personal victories as well that you have to look out for. It's not about pleasing everybody. It's just about knowing what you've accomplished every day.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate you guys' time. It was, you know, hard to get you guys, but I know you guys are busy as we are too. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for us. And Jose, you want to say anything to them before I?
Yeah, I mean, you guys almost broke the record for our longest interview. You guys were 4 minutes away from being our longest interview.
Yeah.
The record still Areli Musinho, an hour and 16 minutes. You guys gave a valiant effort, you know, but I appreciate you guys for your time. And Brandon, I know we cut into your training time, so we'll make sure to send you some more boxing, no problem. You know, shirt and caps, make up for it.
That's right.
Same to you, Coach Cam. We'll send you some gear, and really appreciate you guys making the time. This was a great interview, and you know, I'm sure Sequel will be busy in the gym from time to time.
Yeah.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right.